I want to shift gears a little bit, and I want to ask about one state specifically. And it's not Florida. It's Arizona. What happened in Arizona? I was not personally surprised when Blake Masters lost, but I was honestly very surprised about Kari Lake. What do you think happened?
I actually thought both would win, but I thought Kari Lake would win easily. Masters was, I said when my official prediction, it was going to be a tough call, but I did think he would wind up pulling it out. But I think that what happened in Arizona is nothing that you can even say it happened. It's still happening. It's a shift in demographics, and it's about. I mean, there's the shift in ancestral demographics. There's also the shift in education-related demographics. There's the shift in economic demographics. You pick a situation and it's shifting, and none of these shifts benefit the GOP. In Arizona, the Hispanic populace there didn't go as anywhere near as Republican as it did in Florida or even California, interestingly enough. But the Republicans in Arizona also have a problem within their own ranks because there is a feud within the party. You have the more traditional McCainiac wing, which is thought of by the media as being quote unquote respectable, and no question it comes off as more polished than some of the MAGA types who Kari Lake strongly aligned herself with, that are very brash, outspoken, in some cases embarrassing. But the McCainiacs are more dangerous because these people basically want to light the world on fire for their vision of quote unquote democracy, if they believe in that at all. I mean, it's tied up with large corporations that make money off of bloodshed, and these people basically don't give a damn about anything other than their ideology and making money off of it all the while, and being quote unquote respectable, even as what they do literally kills people. So the McCainiac wing is definitely the more dangerous of the two, and the more destructive, but it is still there. And even though McCain is dead now, so quite a few years, it's not gone away, and I don't think it's going away. And this McCainiac wing is the distinct minority of the Arizona Republican ranks. However, its members will not vote for someone like Lake or Masters. They will either not vote or they'll actually vote for the Democrat. I know a lot of them voted for Mark Kelly. And at this point, I don't even know if it's about issues so much as it is just a hatred for what the GOP has become, because a lot of folks still want it to be like, the McCain, what was their heyday, wasn't a heyday for anyone else. But, these people have a highly emotional attachment to that point in time, and they're not moving beyond it. So even though a lot of them by now are effectively Democrats or Democratic-leaning independents, they still keep the GOP registration to screw with the party as much in primaries as they can, and then a lot of them will vote for any Republican they dislike, which is overwhelming. There's an overwhelming chance that the Republican on the ballot is going to be one they dislike because, like I said, their numbers are not big. So this absolutely is sinking the Arizona Republicans. There were close races in Arizona, particularly the gubernatorial election. And if the McCainiac Republicans had been on board for Kari Lake, she would have won. Blake Masters still would have lost, probably. But he would have been in the situation that Kari Lake is in, basically, where it's this tiny, tiny loss. And it wasn't a big loss that he incurred, but still a loss. But the Republicans have a lot of problems in Arizona, and I'm not confident that they'll be able to win it in 2024 or at any point beyond that. Demographics there are shifting, and then there is this nasty intra-party feud.
It's just such a shame because Kari Lake was such a good candidate, and it's my opinion, and I want to hear what you have to say about this. I think the GOP as a party needs to do two critical things before 2024. Number one, they need to put Kari Lake in charge of actually training Republican candidates on how to run for office and how to interact with the media. And I don't know exactly how they do that. She downloads all of her tips and tricks and actually teaches people how to do this, and maybe they workshop it or whatever. But I think they need to do that. And then I think they need to put Scott Presler on the payroll and make it Scott Presler's job to train 100 more people that are just like Scott Presler. Because I really think, Scott Presler got very sick right before the election. He's thankfully out of the hospital now, but there's one Scott Presler in the country, and he has done more to lift up Republican voters than almost anyone else in the country has over the last several years. And I really think it's a shame that the GOP has not utilized him more to say, okay, we can't just have it be you because you went into the hospital, and we need more people just like you. I think that could have a monumental impact.
Oh, for sure. I'm a big fan of Scott Pressler. I've stated as much publicly. I think he should be RNC chair.
Mhm.
I think that McDaniel though is not. It's not like she generated the problem. The problem is more institutional. But Pressler is someone who I think could turn things around. I would imagine that he would take the job if it were offered to him. But I don't know that they're going to offer it to him. I think McDaniel's intent on hanging around for as long as possible. And like I said, I don't dislike her personally or politically, but he certainly I think would be superior in the RNC chairmanship. Now I think when it comes to Kari Lake, she was a very good candidate. She knew how to deal with the media better than I think any Republican that's come along that I can recall. I would say that she should obviously run for office again, and she would be a very good strategist for the national GOP. I think that I think that the situation in Arizona with those mail-in ballots absolutely was disastrous for her. If not for those atypical Democratic voters getting motivated, she could have won even without the McCaney acts. But it's water under the bridge at this point. But no, she was a very good candidate. She had the most comprehensive, consistent, intellectually substantial, well, emotionally satisfying anti-woke message of any candidate that I've seen running on the Republican side ever. She really got it down pat, as she's done on other things too. So yeah, the GOP definitely should keep her around, and hopefully she'll run for office again. It is unfortunate that she lost, and I didn't expect her to. I was quite surprised.